Story, and I'm the summarizer of Team 3, Presentation 1. Today I'm going to be talking about Aristotle's Rhetoric. We're going to start off by talking about who Aristotle is. So Aristotle is a Greek philosopher during the classical period. He was a student of Plato, but they disagreed on how rhetoric could be used. Plato believed that rhetoric could be used unethically, but Aristotle disagreed because he believed that rhetoric could never be used unethically because in order to achieve rhetoric, it needs to have ethics in it. So, Aristotle's rhetoric is about the art of persuasion, and that's all it's centered around, and also the proof and the process and what you need to know in order to achieve rhetoric. So the rhetoric definition is that is the art of effective or persuasive writing or speaking. And Aristotle's definition is the ability to persuade in every given case, which means you're able to convince people in under all circumstances. But it has to involve ethics. Dialectic is the art of investigating or discussing the truth of opinions. There are many definitions to it. Another definition would be the argument that involves some sort of contradictory process between two opposing sides. But dialectic is also known as the practice of attacking or maintaining an argument. But it all takes place between two individuals using a logical argument. But according to Aristotle, it differs from logic because it is concerned with the pursuit of absolute truth or convincing between two people in an argument. Now we're going to be going over how rhetoric is a counterpart to dialectic. So to go over it again, rhetoric is about defending or accusing somebody, while dialectic is about attacking or maintaining an argument. So Aristotle stresses that rhetoric is closely related to dialectic because they both have common features, which include that they both apply to the same theory of deduction and induction, and that they both are concerned with both sides of an opposition, and they both rely on accepted sentences. These are not the only common features that connect to rhetoric and dialectic, but those are the only ones that we're going to mention in this PowerPoint. A question for the audience: what are the three divisions of oratory? The three divisions include political, forensic, and ceremonial speaking. Starting off with political, it's about the concerns of a nation, which urges the audience to do or to not do something. An example would be people who address public assemblies. Next, forensic speaking, which either attacks or defends somebody. It includes one man accusing the other and the other defending themselves. An example would be speakers in law courts, which are there to defend or attack somebody against a crime. Last one is ceremonial speaking, which either praises or censures somebody. An example would be funeral orations, which honor those killed in battles, which is popular in Greece. Next, we're going to be talking about syllogism, which is a term that needs to be known. The definition of it is an instance of a form of reasoning in which a conclusion is drawn from two given or assumed propositions or premises in which they share a term with the conclusion and also share a common middle term that is not present in the conclusion. So there are always two or more propositions, but one is assumed to be true. So the purpose is just to present reasons that establish a conclusion. An example would be all dogs are animals, or animals have 4 legs, therefore all dogs have 4 legs. Next, we're going to be talking about anthony, which is an argument in which one premise is not explicitly stated. An example of that would be, we cannot trust Katie because she lied last week. There is something that is assumed to be true because not all details are presented. Aristotle claims that entity is the most popular kind of argument, and that is important to know. A question for the audience: what are the 3 laws of persuasion? These are quite popular in rhetoric. We've learned them before. They include ethos, pathos, and logos. So ethos is about the character of the speaker, pathos, the emotional state of the audience, and logos, the apparent proof provided by the speech. Next, we're going to be talking about persuasion. So persuasion in rhetoric has 3 instances that need to be learned. So the first one is based on the personal character of the speaker, which they need to prove their credibility based on their character and how they present their speech. Next is, it comes from the audience and how they react to the speech given or the essay. So according to Aristotle, persuasion cannot occur in the absence of emotion. The people or the audience are moved to action by how the speaker makes them feel. And then lastly, is the speech or the audience is affected through the truth of the speech. So every speech or rhetoric paper needs to have proof presented in order for the audience to believe or be persuaded. Still continuing on the topic of persuasion, the audience needs the proof in order to listen to you or in order to believe what you're saying. Aristotle says that if you do not have goodwill, you will not be able to be persuasive in any shape or form, which means that it needs to have artificial or inartificial proof in order for the audience to believe what you're saying. Lastly, these are the 3 means of effective persuasion. 1, you need to reason logically, because in rhetoric you need to be persuasive, and in order for that to happen, you need to provide proof that will make the audience believe you and want to listen more. Second, understand human character and goodness. In order for you to be persuasive to the audience, you need to learn them and not your audience, and that is understanding human character and goodness, which is also relating to ethics, because without ethics, it's not really rhetoric. Lastly, you need to understand human emotions, which goes back to what Aristotle said, that persuasion cannot occur in the absence of emotions. So in order to stir up emotions in your audience, you need to understand emotions. Thank you.